So you're telling me that I need to make another video for YouTube? About what now? The Cockney accent, right. How much are you paying? So it seems as though you lot can't live your own lives without asking me for another video. So here we are. Today we are going to be learning about a very special man. And this man has a very peculiar accent. I'm so lucky that my accent is completely normal and understandable. Yes, the focus of today's video is Alfie Solomons, and we're going to be learning his accent. Why? Because if you're learning English, you need to be able to understand lots of different accents. Not everybody speaks English in the same way. You don't want to go to London and find yourself confused when you talk to a Cockney, right? So, for the purposes of this video, although I may look like a Peaky Blinder, today we are going to be talking like a Cockney, alright? I'm not a Cockney, clearly. I'm from Birmingham. But it'll do, alright? It'll do. So right, if we're going to learn a Cockney accent, the first thing we need to look at are the consonants, right? So let's have a look at the consonants. The first consonant I want to look at, well, it's actually two consonants, but you know, whatever. TH, alright? When we are talking like a Cockney, a lot of the time we don't need these two letters. Who needs them? Take these two letters, turn them into one. F, alright? I think a lot of things, alright? In my life, I think a lot of things, yeah. And sometimes I have these thoughts and I think that, I am a very, very strong, handsome man. That's what I think. So, as you can see, when there is a TH in the word, I'm going to make it an F, alright? So, have a listen to this example from Alfie Solomons. See if you can hear that TH becoming an F.
Anything, right, that your superior officer says to you...
See? Even Alfie Solomons does it. So, little quiz. If you have this sentence, how do you think we're going to say it? Exactly. The thorny thing in my thigh. Yes, you got it. Obviously, there are lots of Cockneys, right? Some Cockneys will say a TH, of course, but a lot of them don't. Right, let's talk about another consonant then. So, let's talk about the consonant sound T, okay? Particularly when the T is in the middle of a word or at the end of a word, all right? So let's say pretty cat. Okay, we don't want to say pretty cat. We want to get rid of the T's altogether, okay? Pretty cat. Oh, look at that pretty cat. Oh, what a pretty cat. As you can hear, I'm not saying those T's, okay? But obviously, if you've got a T at the beginning of a word, you say it, okay? If my name is Tommy Shelby, we say Tommy Shelby. We don't say Ommy Shelby. That would be weird. Listen to this clip of Alfie, all right? Listen to how he doesn't say the T, all right?
To get you clinked up and battered, which I did. Yeah, that's beautiful, that's wonderful.
Did you hear that? Yeah, I bet you did. So, how would we say this sentence here? Exactly. Exactly. I've forgotten my hat. I've forgotten my hat. Oh, no, I haven't. It's here. Okay, I'm sorry to keep doing this to you, but we've got another letter that we don't like to say, okay? Another letter that you want to drop if you want to sound like a Cockney is the H, okay? Don't like them. We just don't like the H's if they're at the beginning of a word, all right? Oh, look at that horse. That is a nice horse. I like that horse. Hello? Hello? You all right? See, I'm not saying these H's. I don't want to say hello. I don't want to say horse. I don't want to say hang about. I say hang about, all right? Listen to how Alfie does it.
That is how God sees us both in his eyes.
You see, he don't have time for the H's. He don't have time. And the final consonant I don't want you to say is a G at the end of an ing, all right? So, if you've got walking, running, talking, no. Walking, running, talking. Okay, I want it to end with an N, not a G. No. Obviously say your other G's though. If you're going to say grandma or God or hot dog, say it, yeah? But if it's ing, don't say it, okay? Listen, Alfie Solomons will show you how.
I was lying out there in the the tide come in and it woke me up.
Okay, stay with it, all right? You're doing well, you're doing well. The last consonant sound I want to teach you about is an L ending word, okay? So a dark L. If you're not sure what a dark L is, let me tell you. So, we have two different L's in the English language, all right? We've got a light L and a dark L, okay? So a light L is the kind of L you would use before a vowel sound, all right? So let's say we're saying something like love. Ah, lovely, okay? When I say love, this is what my tongue is doing, okay? There's the top of my mouth, there's my tongue, hello tongue, and it goes like this. Love, love, la 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 la. It's like tapping, you see. However, a dark L is like, right, this is the top of my mouth, okay? Imagine there's a little button on the top of your mouth, right at the top, just under your nose, right? Here, right at the top there's a button, okay? And I want you to try and press the button with this part of your tongue. Try and press that button and hold it down, right, like this. Ooh, 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 ooh. It's not like a light flick, it's a press. Ooh, ooh, ooh. So, if we were talking in RP, okay, we would say this. People, 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 people. Can you hear that dark L? People. Can you hear it? Okay. However, in Cockney, it's a lot more like this. People. Ooh, 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 ooh. It's going more towards that shape with the lips, right? It's like a little circle. People. Ooh, ooh. Like it comes round and in. People. Ooh. People. All right? People. Forgettable. Okay? Regrettable. Big difference between RP and a Cockney, okay? So, have a listen to Alfie. See if you can hear that bull at the end of the word. Have a listen.
If this is hell, it looks a lot like Margate.
See, I know what I'm talking about. All right, finally, we can talk about some vowels, okay? One of the differences between a Cockney and a Brummie is how we say words like this. So, I would say past, laugh, grass. However, a Brummie would say like last, grass, path. So in Cockney we do an R sound for these A's, okay? So how do you think we would say this sentence? Exactly. That is the last time you put a path on the grass. Yes, R, lovely. Now I have to teach you about the diphthongs, all right? Some people say diphthong, some people say diphthongs. I don't care. But in Cockney, we've got a lot of diphthongs, whatever you want to call them. Basically, a diphthong is just a sound that changes without using any consonant sound. So let's say something like A. That's a diphthong because it changes. Can you hear the change in the sound without using any of my lips or my teeth? Change, all right? So I want to teach you about the two most important diphthongs in Cockney. So the first can be found in words like this. Like. I don't like it. I don't lie. I'm singing a song for you now. Lie. It goes from an I like. It's a big one, all right? All right? I don't like it, okay? You might remember another famous Cockney, Billy Kimber, okay? I am Billy Kimber, okay? Listen to how he says I. There's like 3 different sounds in there. It's massive. Now listen to how Alfie says the I. All right, have a listen.
Since my resurrection, I am considered to be a god. All right?
Okay, and the second big diphthong in a Cockney accent can be found in a sentence like this, okay? So in RP, we would say, how now, brown cow? But we're not RP, are we? No, we're Cockney. So we say, ow, now, brown cow. Ow. The words go on a journey, right? Ow. It travels from like a nasal sound down to the oral cavity, all right? Ow. Ow now, brown cow. I'm sure Alfie can do it way better than me.
Did you know we bake over 10,000 loaves a week? Can you believe it?
All right, we're nearly at the end. Stay with it, okay? Okay, so let's take something like Peaky Blinder, okay? So the ER is an A, okay? Blinder, blinder. Let's take a word like mother, mother, mother. See how I'm not doing that TH? I'm actually turning it into a V, okay? Because it's a voiced TH. If I was in RP and I was saying mother, I have to do a th. That's voiced, okay? Because I can feel a vibration in my throat, okay? So if you can feel a vibration, it means it's voiced. If you can't, it's unvoiced, all right? So if you have a voiced TH, you replace it with a V. So mother becomes mother, 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 mother. Or father. ER at the end of a word with 2 or more syllables is pronounced like an A, okay? Remember that. Alfie, some examples, please. You speak Russian?
I do, yeah, I do. This is me mum. Yeah, me mother.
Now, another thing that Cockneys do is they change words a little bit. Well, quite a lot, actually. So, let's take the words am not or are not. Okay, or is not. We change it to ain't, all right? So, I am not going in there would be I ain't going in there. Or they are not very tall would be they ain't very tall. Or that is not a good car would be that ain't a good car. So, if you hear the word ain't, it just means not. It's not. They are not. I am not. He is not. But we use it a lot, don't we, Alfie?
That was a gift of Tsar Nikolai.
I ain't asking you though, am I, right? I ain't asking you.
So, I've given you some essential ways to sound a little bit more like Alfie Solomons. But basically, overall, the thing to remember is keep things open, Tommy. And also, Tommy, the thing to remember is Cockney is ever evolving. Not everyone sounds like Alfie Solomons anymore. You need to remember Alfie Solomons is a character from a long time ago.
So those are some essential things. If you want to understand a Cockney accent, you need to know these rules, all right? If you can get familiar with those rules I've just taught you, you will be able to understand a lot more when a Cockney person speaks, all right? But don't worry if you can't do it. That's not why I'm here. I'm here because you are trying to learn English and help better your English understanding, all right? So take the knowledge I've given you, practice it, have a little play, see if you can do a bit of a Cockney accent yourself, and listen to a lot more Cockneys. The more you listen, the better you will be at understanding it, all right? Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to go back to being a Brummie because in this voice, I feel very uncomfortable. Whew, that's better. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, please give it a like. And if you'd like to follow us on Instagram, I don't know what Instagram is, but if you'd like to follow us on Instagram, you can do so somewhere down there somewhere. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Ta-ta.